Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Today I'm going to show you how to make this easy Happy Father's Day card, but you can actually update it for a birthday card for anybody that likes nature. It's kind of a fun little birch tree, earthy looking card. We're going to start off with this stamp by Rubbernecker and some white cardstock. Any white cardstock is fine for this. And you want to use some waterproof ink just because we're going to be coloring with dye-based ink, and we just want to make sure that our color stays nice and crisp. So make sure you ink your stamp up really well. Here I can see it's nice and shiny winey there, and I'm going to roll this right onto my my cardstock, and I'm using a rocking block. It's actually the Rock-a-Block by Crafter's Companion, but you can use whatever stamp mount you like. I didn't quite do a great job right there, so what I'm going to do is take a black marker and just fill in that spot there. If you ever do that, you don't have to waste the cardstock. Just go in and fill in your lines, just freehanded. A Sharpie would be fine. And then I'm going to set this aside for a minute to dry, and we are going to work on making the card itself. And I'm actually going to make this a happy birthday card because I love to have extra birthday cards on hand for guys because I always find them kind of hard to make. I'm definitely more of like a frou-frou, you know, girly type stamper, so I like to have some kind of gender neutral or, you know, manly man cards handy for this. And I'm going to use a little bit of jute, which you can pick up at a dollar store or any place like that, really. I'm going to do a little adhesive on the back to stick it down, and I'm just going to wrap it around twice, I think. You could use a little bit of hot glue if you wanted to. Just wrap it around 2 times there. That's just going to be, you know, very simple embellishing. That's a great thing about doing kind of a card for a guy, and I know I'm going to get some flack on that because I know some guys like fancier cards, but a card that would be more pleasing to the non-frou-frou, and I'm very frou-frou, so do a little bit simpler of embellishing. There we go. I'm just going to press that down in there, and that adhesive is going to be just enough to keep that that stuck down. And I think I stamped this little happy birthday here, and I want to put like a little bit of a I'm not sure where I want to put that yet, but what I'm going to do here for this is just a simple little technique that I call it just the simple banner technique, where I basically just kind of fold back my my little word strip there, and then I just notch the edges here. My paper crafting scissors, I don't know what happened to them. They're, I think, being used by my daughter on the other side of my studio right now, but that's alright. I can use these, just not my ribbon scissors. Oh, thank you, look at that. I got a delivery. I got a scissor delivery. Ever get a scissor delivery? Just going to ink the edges here. And I'm just going to set this aside because I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put that, but I think I'm going to like that in the corner. I'm just going to set it aside for now, though. In case I make a mistake, it's always a great way to cover a mistake up by sticking something down to it. And I think I'll put those little buttons in there with a little bit of Beacon 3-in-1. That's like my liquid hot, my cold hot glue. Basically, it's so thick and quick grab that it's almost as good as having hot glue. It's actually, it dries stronger than hot glue. I used a little bit too much there, but I think it'll be fine. And then we'll set this aside and we'll get onto the coloring of our image. So we're going to do something kind of fun today. And I've got this little hunk of wax. It was actually, I just sliced it off of this hunk of canning wax. If you ever do any canning, I'll zoom in a little bit for you here. So I just cut this off with a knife. And what I'm going to do is just color in my birch trees. You could use a white crayon. If you have any of those like clear wax crayons that you get when you do like Easter egg coloring, those would be perfect. So save those next time you have any. And just color in all your trees anything you want to be white. So, you know, you could do this with some other stamped image too, if it was like maybe a snowman or anything where you might want to mask out some white. Now the only thing about this though is that you're not going to be able to put the ink on later. So if you think you might want to ink it up with a different color later, use like a you know, masking paper or some, you know, liquid mask, rubber cement, something like that. But this, I know I just want to keep this white for good. Alright, so it's really hard to see where you've put your wax. I don't know if you can see a little subtle sheen there at all where I've done that? Probably not, because I can barely see it here. And if I can barely see it, you can probably barely see it out in YouTube land. But it's there, trust me. And we're going to just use some little ink applicators, and these are actually pretty cool. I took a bottle cap, and I took a makeup wedge, and I folded the wedge in half, and I put some hot glue in there and shoved the ends in, and that's how I made my blenders. And these are really awesome. I'm going to go in with some yellow here in the center. These are my new Lawn Fawn inks, but any dye ink is going to work for you. These are just nice and juicy, so I've really enjoyed using them because they're like my newest ink pads. And I'll put a link to these over at Hallmark Scrapbook, as well as a link to the stamps I used from Rubbernecker right in the video description. Alright, I just wanted to kind of have a little bit of a sunset going on there. And then I'm going to take a scrap of paper and just kind of tear it here. Set that kind of where the grass and the sky meet, right there. And I'm going to use some green ink. And my green ink applicator, and add some of that. I'm going over the edge of the circle because I'm going to die cut that, and I don't want to have any weird, you know, I want it to be kind of constant. So I'm just making sure I extend that ink. Okay, and then I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe off any ink that might have stuck to the wax more than I wanted it to. Now, if it really bothers you, if you got some ink where you didn't want it, you can always go in with a colored pencil or a piece of chalk or something and touch it up, even a little bit of gesso, whatever, if that bothers you. It doesn't really bother me because I like how it looks kind of rustic. I'm going to go over to my die cutter, cut this out, and I will be right back. Okay, I've die cut my little stand of trees. That was just for the basic circle die that I had. I think it was Lifestyle Crafts or something, I don't know. And I'm just deciding where I want my happy birthday to go. I think I like it kind of like that. And I put a few foam tabs on the back here already. So I'm just going to peel off the extra paper and stick that down, and our card is going to be done. Now that's pretty quick and easy. And if you think of, and the reason I was drawn to this stamp, I saw it at the stamp show in the Rubbernecker booth. I was drawn to it because I thought, you know, that's the type of stamp that you can make a really quick and easy card with. And it's nice to have stamps like that in your arsenal. Especially if you're not used to making, like if you're, you know, if making a card for a guy is a little bit more intimidating, having something that's like a easy win is nice to have in your arsenal. Now my daughter is crafting on the other side of the room, and she was wondering if I would let her show off her project. So come on over here, Maisie, if you want to share your project. We all craft here in this household, so so it's kind of fun to share our other projects. You want to tell them about it, honey?
This is my journal I did. I used my mom's scraps and markers. I just want to show you guys how beginners can do this project too. It's simple and fun.
Thank you, honey. And if you liked Maisie's project, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like this one too, I would love a thumbs up and a comment if you want to, or share it with your friends. That always is the best thank you I can get. I want to thank you so much for watching again. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And until next time, happy crafting.